Hey guys, welcome back to the shop for another New Tool Tuesday. What I have in front of me here is some new material handling equipment made by Skyhook that I think is going to be very helpful for me around the shop here in a few different ways. You guys probably know that I've got an existing Skyhook that I've been using for a few years now at my home shop. I recently brought it here to be able to help me install a chuck over on the CNC lathe. And I've seen these carts for a few years there now as well. I've seen folks like Saunders Machine Works use it, and it's been very helpful to them. And I think that we can put this guy to work around here. It's going to really help me for places like the big work table, the welding table here. Maybe I got some big bulky thing on the back of my truck that's just, it's easier to use something like this to be able to unload something, bring it in here, set it on the table, or pick up a workpiece like the big hardtail vise there. Those pieces are kind of big and bulky. It's not necessarily something that I want to use a forklift for every single time. The forklift is great for unloading pallets and bringing stuff into the shop right here, but you know, that's about the best that I can do with the forklift. The jib crane does not reach over here to the work table, nor does it reach back there to the CNC lathe. So I think having the Skyhook like this is going to be very helpful. This one is going to have the cantilever arm so that you have like an extended reach area that you can get to. It also has the counterweights right here that are going to be mounted in the bottom of the cart, and that's so that it counterweights and you can pick up some heavy work pieces there. I'm going to go ahead and get it unbolted, just get it together and test it out and see how it works, and I'll bring you along and show you what it's like. This pallet right here is kind of a mess because of the the shipping people that always seem to damage our goods whenever we get them. That pallet was tore up, the counterweights were falling off, and the guys driving the trucks were just throwing the counterweights back up on the pallet. But I counted 15, and I verified with Skyhook that that's how many is supposed to be with this, so all of our counterweights are there. This is another piece that I got there to go with the Skyhook, and we'll show what that is later. Yeah, it's like a column that you mount somewhere in a permanent location on the floor that we can take our Skyhook off and be able to put it on the pedestal there. The only damage on this that I saw was the outboard support here. The screw jack is bent, and Skyhook said that they would send me a replacement for that right there because it got bent up. But other than that, it looks fine. So we'll get it unpackaged and get this thing put together and show you what it looks like and how we're going to use it around the shop here. All right, there's the cart. Nice heavy duty steel cart. It's got this post back here that we'll use to set the Skyhook down in. And then you got a couple of jacks that you extend out and screw down to the floor. This is the one that's bent. Obviously, we're going to replace that one. All right, so we'll get the Skyhook out now and get it unboxed and see if we can get her mounted up to the cart here. Do have some locks on the swivel casters. Handle and owner's manual. All right, so whenever you pull it out of the box, the only thing you got to do to kind of assemble this is to slide the two pieces together there. The tube for the boom. That's pretty much it. We still got to bolt the handle on for the crank. And let's move this out of our way. And then this should mount right here. Got to loosen the set screw on the side. There it goes. They've got a bottom in there so that it sits on a solid surface. And then you can just simply lock that. So when you're storing it, moving around, if you don't want that thing to swing around, you can do that. Probably need to put a little lubricant in there. There's your handle, comes with a shoulder bolt.
Awesome.
And there should be enough chain in this so that that hook should go all the way down and touch the ground there. So you can come up next to a workpiece, pick it up, set it here on the cart, then move it over to the machine that you're going to be loading it up at. Maybe this is the bracket that's going to go down there that holds the counterweights. So I'm getting ahead of myself there on the mounting of the sky hook and nearly forgot about this other component that we're going to use on there as well, and that is the cantilever arm right here. This is to provide extra reach so you can reach over into the machine or over onto the machine a little bit further than just the standard reach that you have right here, which is about a couple of feet. So it looks like this is going to add about another foot of reach right here. So let's see if we can just do this just like so. Like that. And then put our sky hook. Got another locking screw right there. Like that. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah. And you can see how much more reach you'll have with the cantilever arm. There we go. You can kind of see now how much extra reach you'll have. Come over here next to the table, pick up our big vise or whatever it is that we're wanting to move, and be able to easily swing it over onto the machine or the work table there. Very cool. And then when we're not using it, we can. It really helps if you lock the casters, but every time I lock it, I want to move it, so lock it that time. So when you're ready to store it, you can just simply tighten up the set screws and store it any way that you want there. That looks like that's going to be the bracket, yeah, that the counterweights mount onto. So I think they're gonna sit down here, and there's 3 bolts that bolt it down to the base there. There's the brackets that the counterweights slide down onto. Make this a little easier, I just took the sky hook off and tilted it back so I don't have to get up underneath this thing. And we'll get this bolted on. It says the flange should be pointing towards the mount of the sky hook there. Let's see if we can get one started here and get them all bolted in. Okay, so we'll add our counterweights. Reading the instructions, they should mount like this right here. It said they just hang on those brackets. Injury, one of those metal bands over there got the side of me. All right. So there's the first row of counterweights installed. We'll go ahead and put the remainders on that second bracket right there. Okay, we got our counterweights installed. There's actually room for one more there, but they said that it comes equipped with 15, so that's what we got on there. And they also equip it with these cables, so you can actually mount a cable across the counterweights and just bolt them into that so that they don't come off or anyone can pick them up and remove them. So we may mount that on there later. Let's see if we can roll this thing around now. Oh yeah, it's definitely got some heft to it now. That's a lot of weight on there. There we go. This guy's ready to put to work. So these are your support legs. This is the one that got bent, but I was able to straighten it up in order just to be able to get it going now. They're going to be sending a replacement there for that. But all you do, whenever you're ready to actually use it, they say to extend the support legs there and then lock it down to the floor. So you got a pin that you pull out, put it in that position. Simply just screw it down until it makes contact with the floor. Now you can see they got enough chain in this so that you can lower the hook all the way down to the floor like that. So you can definitely come right up next to a workpiece in the floor and pick it up and set it on the cart. Here's an example of how we'll be using our sky hook. There's a pretty good chunk of steel right there that we'll pick up and swing it around here onto the cart. But let's, just for fun, let's pick it up and we'll put it on the scale just to see how much that weighs. It's probably gonna be, I don't know, 100 pounds or so. Got our casters locked, outboard supports locked. Just curious of what this weighs so that we'll have something to kind of go off of here. All right, that's pretty good. The 150 pounds exactly. 150 pounds. All right, that's a pretty good test piece we'll use right there. That is perfect right there. This is exactly what we wanted our skyhook cart for, was for jobs like this or tasks like this, handling heavy work pieces or tools or other big things in the shop that we're trying to move around. Sometimes it might be a machine tool accessory. And to be able to help us do this kind of stuff where our jib crane won't reach or things like this, it's really a little bit too small to be trying to fuss with a forklift. And it's also too big and heavy that you shouldn't be trying to pick this stuff up with your arms and your back. I've gotten older and it's easy for me to admit that I just can't pick things up like I used to. But whenever I started out in the trades, the first, I'd say good 15 years, I was very strong. I worked out and I wasn't scared to go and pick stuff like this up all the time and put it in the saw or put it in the big lathe or things like that. But as I've gotten older though, I realized that I just can't do that kind of stuff like I used to 20, 25 years ago when I was younger. So for me, investing in really good quality material handling equipment like the skyhook, like my jib crane over there, that's going to help me get stuff moved around the shop. And I think this is going to be very helpful around here and I look forward to having it. So I did want to show you the other piece that we got to go along with our skyhook there. This is going to be a pedestal mount that we can position, or mount it anywhere we want in the shop. Let's see if we can get this guy out of here. So this is the other accessory that we got to go with our skyhook, and this allows us to have more than one use, more than just the cart here. This is a pedestal. It's a nice heavy duty pedestal that Skyhook builds that you mount to the concrete. So you just got to use some concrete anchors there, and it's a permanent mount. Or maybe you can have different mounting locations in different spots where you have the inserts in the concrete, and you can simply unbolt it, move it to another spot, bolt it down, and then once you have it in that location, you just simply take the sky hook and slide it off and put it down in the pedestal. And there you got one that's right next to the machine at a direct location. You don't necessarily have to use the cart at that point. So a good location for something like this is directly next to one of the machines, like say a milling machine. It's perfect for that. You put it right behind it, kind of next to the column, so that if you want to move your big vices, your index spacers, dividing heads, rotary tables, you know, that big heavy stuff that's hard to pick up and move around, you can use something like this to be able to get it, move it off out of the way, and then keep going about your day right there. So it adds a little bit of extra versatility with the investment of the sky hook. And I'm not sure exactly where I want it yet, but we may end up mounting this next to the Miltronic CNC lathe so that when we wanted to swap out chucks, we can easily just mount it here, be able to swing it in there, pick up the chuck, bring it out, and then just move this out of the way. And like I said, it's really easy to move this out of the way if you just use those steel threaded inserts where you drill a hole in the concrete and you take those steel inserts and you drop them in and drive them in. And then as long as you have your hole pattern right, you can basically set that down on the floor, bolt it down, use your sky hook, unbolt it, move this out of the way, you know, and have maybe a few locations around the shop where you have this where you can mount it in there. So that'd be really handy to have there as well. And once I have some of these mounting locations figured out, I'll definitely bring you back and show how we'll end up using all this stuff together. Here's an example of what I mean. We don't have it anchored to anything, but it'll be okay. Just want to show you how we can do this. Take that, pull that out, drop it down in your pedestal, and you are ready to go. And with the addition of the cantilever arm, you can see you've got quite a bit of range out there, about 3 feet or so, that you can reach out there and reach into your machine. This will be another use for the skyhook cart. We got a piece of heavy material like this, a short piece that I want to get in the saw and cut it. We can back it right up here to the saw and offload it. We'll give it a test picking up our Reed 108 bench vise. I've been wanting to take this back to the home shop now that we've got our hardtail vise here that we're working on. So I went ahead and picked it up and eased it down on the scale, and we are right at maximum capacity, 248.5. So basically 250 pounds, which is what the limit of this skyhook is with the cantilever extension right here. I believe if you take this out and put it right in the post without the cantilever support, you can actually lift more than that, but I don't see us needing to do that. But we're going to be right at our max capacity right there. So let's pick it up, swing it around here, and then we'll set it on the truck. All right, so full weight capacity on it. I just want to kind of give it a feel here. It feels fine. Got all that counterweight there, so it's not going to flip it over. The weight makes it a little bit more difficult to swing this stuff around. Just got to get used to it. I like they got those handles on that cantilever there so that you can hold that in place. That's one of the reasons why we wanted it right there, so we can pick up these heavy items in a more compact form. This is going to work great. Well, my truck bed or tailgate is a little bit too high. We're at a little bit of an angle still, but I think we can still get it pivoted all the way against the tailgate here and get it on the tailgate and then slide it in. We'll give that a try. Still get it in there. So while we're loading up, we're gonna go ahead and put my 12-inch Cushman 4-jaw on here. This belongs at my home shop. We use it on the Victor lathe. Is the hook gonna hook it? Yeah, that's got it. Well, this is going to wrap up this episode of New Tool Tuesday. I'm real happy with the new Skyhook cart. This is going to be a really valuable tool to have around the shop here. A nice helper tool for doing things like I just showed. You know, we put the stock over in the saw. It worked perfectly for that. The big reed vise we got loaded up, the big 4-jaw chuck. Occasionally I have tools like this or things that I have in storage that I want to bring down here, big pieces of material and stuff like that. And having the Skyhook for unloading this and getting it in here is just going to be a nice, valuable tool to have around. So I'm just happy with it. It's performing really well. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do, is to help you pick up bulky, heavy materials that you don't need to be trying to manhandle yourself and get off the truck or into the machine. You know, we'll be able to take this right over there to the machine and use it for accessories when we want to take the vices off, the spacers, change the chucks out, you know, in the CNC and stuff like that. So I just think this is going to be a very valuable tool. It's going to help me save my back from, you know, overstraining myself trying to pick up heavy things. And for doing the small stuff like that, it's going to be very nice having this small compact cart instead of just relying on the forklift for every single thing that you do, you know. So I'm going to enjoy having this, and I hope that you enjoyed watching this episode of Tool Tuesday. I love investing in new tools in my shop, and I love sharing those with you whenever we get them and add these to our arsenal around here. And I would recommend these to anybody, especially if you got a shop. Even if you have a home shop, a hobby shop, and you're picking up heavy things, those accessories over on the mill, check out the Skyhooks. You know, I think they're a very valuable tool to invest in and have around your workspace. So with that, we're out of here. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I see you again on the next Tool Tuesday episode.